From our studios at the corner of 8th and Walton in Bentonville, Arkansas, welcome to Saturday Morning Meeting, brought to you in part by Dun & Bradstreet Credibility Corp. Saturday Morning Meeting covers Walmart, Sam's Club, and the consumer product companies that are represented on the racks and shelves throughout the country and around the world. I'm Derek Ridenoure, and our focus is on the insights, trends, and best practices to help you as a supplier grow your business with the world's largest retailer. Thank you for joining us. And coming up today, I'll be talking with Sharon Belto of Waste Management about sustainability just in time for the Walmart Product Sustainability Expo. And discussing this week's news with me will be Colby Beland and Ken Simpson. But first, the headlines. Chain Store Age reports that Interbrand named Walmart the most valuable brand in both North America and the world. Interbrand's report states that Walmart's brand value is $131.8 billion, dwarfing Target's second-place value of only $27.1 billion. Sam's Club ranked number 7 in the top U.S. brands with a value of $13.5 billion. There's been a lot of media buzz about Walmart's new organics initiative. According to Bloomberg, Walmart is teaming up with Wild Oats to provide customers with a range of organic products at a price that's comparable to Walmart's standard non-organic offerings. Reactions published in other media outlets have been mixed. While some healthy food advocates welcome the news, some analysts question Walmart's ability to actually source enough organic food to meet customer demand. Target is also hopping on the natural bandwagon by promoting a range of organic and sustainable products that it calls Made to Matter, handpicked by Target. Supermarket News reports that the line includes over 120 items. Some are limited offerings, others are new to market. Target plans to market these products through both special displays and by placing them on the shelves next to its standard offerings. Media outlets reports that Americans plan to spend less on at least a few special events this spring. Supermarket News noted that individuals celebrating the Easter holiday had a slightly lower budget for clothes, treats, and food than last year. Fierce Retail, on the other hand, reported that students and their parents plan to spend about 14% less than they did last year on prom-related expenses. Recently, Family Dollar announced a 35% drop in profits for its third quarter, triggering store closings. Fierce Retail reports that the chain plans to close 370 stores and will cut back the number of new store openings over the next 2 years. No word yet on how many workers will lose their jobs in the cutbacks. And finally, bacon lovers may have something to be concerned about as meat prices continue to soar. According to KWCH.com, the cost of beef has been high for a while, but a variety of circumstances, including a virus that killed large numbers of baby pigs, have contributed to pork price increases. Check out Walmart and supplier news as is reported on WalmartNewsNow.com. And we're joined now by our panel, Colby Beland from K-Stack and Ken Simpson from Clorox. Welcome, guys. Good morning. Big news, Walmart tops the brand for all the retailers that were ranked. They came in about $132 billion. Any surprise by this, Ken?
Well, no, it's not a surprise. I think it's interesting that that's for North America, but it's also worldwide. So you got to hand it to Walmart that they've been able to build their brand globally and be number one. Quite an accomplishment.
Now, the interesting thing on the list is and Sam's Club was ranked separately, but if you took all 9 of those or all 8 of the other remaining, taking Sam's Club out, they still don't equal the size of Walmart. So the Amazons, the CVS, the Walgreens, Target, Publix, the entire list, which I thought was interesting. Colby?
It's the blue monster. I mean, you know, they're big and they execute very well. And I think if you look at the headlines that we're going to talk about today, they all just tie together in the power of the brand on a global scale. They've been able to execute better than any other retailer in the world.
Go ahead.
I think it's interesting, you know, they said in the article that you're only going to have a powerful brand like that if you're able to adjust to changing consumer needs. On the other hand, it makes me think, wow, if you have something that valuable, it could also make you try to avoid the risk of losing that value and could make you too conservative. So to be able to balance that, I think it's a pretty good trick.
Well, and they were down a little bit from the previous year when the survey was done. And they have not done, to be kind of balanced here, they have not done a great job in some markets. They exited out of Germany, they pulled out of South Korea, India, which is more of a little political situation there.
Indonesia,
yes.
Hong Kong.
So there are some other markets that they've certainly had to pull out where they said, we can't really compete with this. But I think one thing that Walmart has done consistently well, and they do it very well here in the U.S., is store the community. Mm-hmm. And Colby, you can probably talk a little bit about that and how they target different markets.
Well, I think it's just strategy and execution, and it's what they do better than any other retailer. When they decide to go into a market, they understand the geopolitical landscape of that market and what type of products the consumers in that market want to purchase. They're not trying to live within a 4-box and say, this is our model. They're going to adapt very well to that particular region, and I think they do it better than any other retailer. And I mean, the proof shows it. You know, 8 don't equate to 1, and the other 8 have tried to go on a global scale, and they have not been as successful as Walmart.
Yeah.
So
Now you talk about the innovation.
I agree with that, but I would also add that if you look at Walmart's brand, what is their brand about? Their brand is about everyday low prices, or at least low prices, and they are very good at that. And certainly outside the United States, they're not EDLP in all those markets. But
Some of that because of laws in different countries that kind of prevent that. I know in Germany that was one of the issues.
But they're still very good about communicating, about having low prices, working with the suppliers, and communicating that to that consumer in that country. And they're very good at that. They win in that environment.
when the consumer sees blue with a yellow spark, they think of one thing: everyday low price, anywhere in the world.
Which brings us to something else. They're moving into the organic line. They announced this week that Wild Oats is a brand that they've kind of acquired and are going to be doing some stuff with. Whole Foods tried it. It didn't work out so well for them, and there was some legal stuff there. What's your take on this? Kind of want to start with you because it certainly is going to change the organic industry and market.
Yeah, well, actually, as I thought about this, I thought, wow, this is, so Target is coming out with new products in this area of organic or natural,
The better
sustainable.
for you, healthier for you.
So they came out with now Walmart comes out with their campaign, and of course their campaign, a lot of it is about they're going to lower the prices of organic products.
Right.
And so that's great for the consumer, but on the other hand, I think, I hear about food deflation, I hear about trying to have good comps, I hear about a lack of category growth, and I think, wow, here we go, like really what a downside of this from a supplier point of view. And for Walmart could be that whole category is going to decline in sales and potentially profits.
Which right now is
because of this.
it's a premium category across all chains. The organics is certainly the premium category, so I think there's...
Well, I think you're looking at it from a supplier perspective. From a consumer perspective, Walmart's trying to grow same-store sales. And if they can bring a lower price point to a better product that's for you and bring more consumers into the store, that's their strategy, that's their goal. They want to get as many consumers in that store as possible, and I think the organic line is a perfect way to get other consumers that haven't been in the store into the store and to continue to get their daily customer to stay with the store.
But is there a need to do that? Because the people who are buying organics so far have been okay paying a little higher price. I understand your point. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. Does Walmart risk deflating that entire category and kind of devaluing it by lowering the prices?
I don't think so. I think it's a great strategy. It's the fastest growing market. When you start looking at trends and what's been going on, gluten-free, GMO, organic, those are the fastest rapid growing categories within the store. And Walmart wants to get a part of that and bring, the whole goal is to cater to everybody, and they're going to be able to bring consumers that wouldn't be there because they didn't have the offering, and they're going to be able to keep consumers that may be considering going to Target or going to an equal source or even Amazon. I mean, the fact that they can now get organic product in the store at a competitive price, I think it's a win.
It's a good point, and at least the organic products are growing. That category, I think the article said, grew 10% the last year that it was measured. So at least it's growing. But I do think, from a supplier point of view, one of the things that suppliers worry about is Walmart always lowering prices. The deflation, being able to grow sales and profit can make it more challenging.
There's no doubt.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. We've got to leave it there. Stay tuned, because when we come back, we are going to talk with Shane Redd from Waste Management. The Sustainability Summit is coming up, and he'll tell us more about what you need to know on Saturday Morning Meeting.
GigWalk is an on-demand mobile workforce that can collect data and do work at retail. Businesses use GigWalk for retail audits, merchandising, and much more. With 350,000 smartphone-enabled workers available on demand, you get unprecedented speed and coverage across the US, Canada, and the UK. And all work is reviewed for quality and accuracy. Visit gigwalk.com to learn more.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do.
The Northwest Arkansas Children's Shelter Starlight Gala just got squared. Hot country couple Thompson Square will light up the John Q. Hammond Center Saturday, April 26th. It's a night of elegance, entertainment, and hope for abused kids to the power of two, with amazing live and silent auctions and a chance to give abused kids hope for a better life. For sponsorship and ticket information, visit our website today. Be there April 26th and get squared with KNWA and Fox 24.
Welcome back to Saturday Morning Meeting. I'm Jeff Clapper, joined by Reid and Sharon, and we're talking about an upcoming event to benefit cystic fibrosis. Sharon, you're with Hallmark. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the event and Hallmark's involvement.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jeff. It's a great event. It's the Great Strides, which for cystic fibrosis is their largest fundraiser, and they have over 600 walks around the country. So here in Bentonville, our walk this year is May 3rd. On a Saturday, so please mark your calendar. And it's a great walk. There will be hundreds of families there, as well as a team lead for a supplier here. There's a lot of suppliers and companies that are out participating, so it almost becomes a little bit like a team event for us out there. So there's going to be lots of food and fun. It's a 2-mile walk, and it really goes for a great cause to raise money for cystic fibrosis, because as a reminder, CFF, we don't get any funding from the federal government. So all the funds we raise are through walks like this, so it's really critical that everybody comes out.
And so from a supplier's perspective, can you just speak briefly to how Hallmark has gotten involved in this organization?
Sure. So part of the Hallmark way is certainly giving back. And so when we came to this community and wanted to look at what are the ways that we could give back and get involved, we looked kind of within our own house and our own team. And we had several team members here locally that had a connection with CFF. So they were very passionate about it. And in turn, the whole team became very passionate about it.
That's great. Yeah, it's great when you have that personal connection. I think it makes it that much more meaningful.
Absolutely.
Great.
And whenever you have friends who have this disease, it really affects how you can have time to play with them or do something with them. So.
Tell us a little bit more about that. How does this affect your life today?
Well, when you have cystic fibrosis and you have the most common type like I do, and you find another kid who has a slightly different type, you have to stay at least 6 feet away, and that's what we call the 6-foot rule. You can't be drinking water that they have, or can't be eating food, which, I mean, why would someone do that?
Any other ways that it affects you, just kind of living out your life?
You spend 2 sets of 30 minutes each day, just when you're well, hooked up to a large machine.
I hope that this event coming up is a success. I learned a lot in talking with you. Thank you for taking your time today, and get back to school.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks.
Beaver Lake serves as the drinking water source for 1 in 7 Arkansans. Did you know that your actions can impact the quality of water in Beaver Lake? The Beaver Watershed Alliance is working to proactively protect, enhance, and sustain the water quality of Beaver Lake. With the help of partners, volunteers, and people like you, the Alliance is making a difference in Northwest Arkansas. Please learn more about your role in preserving the water quality of the Beaver Watershed and about how you can get actively involved. Visit beaverwatershedalliance.org. Beaver Watershed, our environment, our health, our home.
Are you a single parent struggling to meet your family's needs? Single Parent Scholarship Fund is here to help. Single Parent Scholarship Fund of Northwest Arkansas helps hundreds of single parents get an education. By providing scholarships and support, a brighter future is right around the corner for you and your family.
I'm Andrea. I'm a 2011 UA graduate with a degree in elementary education. Single Parent Scholarship Fund made that possible. My son Jaden is proud of his mama, and it's inspired him to do well in school.
You know, the biggest challenge of working with Walmart is they really expect everyone on the team to know their language, know their terminology, and know exactly how they do business. So that's where 8th and Walton really comes into play. You know, it's the fastest way to get my team members up to speed.
Their business model is suppliers teaching suppliers. So when you come to 8th and Walton, you can count on having very experienced trainers who understand how suppliers work within Walmart, and they take advantage of that and incorporate that into their curriculum.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Meeting. We are joined now by Shane Redd from Waste Management. Shane, thanks for coming in. The Sustainable Conference is coming up the last week of April. Now, as a supplier, why do I need to care about this?
Derek, thanks, Derek. That's a great question. I mean, this is an event that Walmart's been doing now for several years. You know, we've called it a Sustainable Packaging Expo the last few years, and now we're calling it a Sustainable Products Expo. And I think it's very important. It's where else could you get some of the 400 of the biggest thought leaders in the industry of sustainability and all of your Walmart buyers and some Walmart executives in a room to just think and collaborate on how do we do more good.
And you said Walmart executives are going to be there. Obviously, Doug McMillan is going to be speaking, which is really the first time that's happened. Tell me about the importance of having him as one of the speakers at this conference.
I think it's huge. I mean, I think, since Doug's been on board the last few weeks in his new chair, I think we've already seen a continued emphasis on sustainability, and I don't see that going away. And actually this year they've got breakout sessions, so you'll have general merchandise and hard lines and other breakout sessions where you can get in a room with suppliers in your specific areas and focus solely on those lines of business. And I think that's something different than they've done in the past as well.
Now, all of us who are suppliers know about our supplier scorecard that talks about sales, inventory, GMROI, all the metrics that a merchant cares about. But there's also this very evil thing out there, the sustainability scorecard, the packaging scorecard, that many people, I think, here don't fully understand. I know when I had to fill it out, I actually sent it to our production plant, the lady that designs the packaging. So what are some things that the teams here in Northwest Arkansas really should understand about that packaging scorecard?
It's funny that you use the word evil, because I think the message I would send suppliers is let's not think of it as evil as all. Let's think of it as let's find our starting point. And once we identify our starting point of where we are in sustainability, then how do we design our products with the intent look at it from the beginning of design. How do we know from that point that it's going to be recycled? And in some cases we have recyclability versus capturability.
Now, tell me about the difference between those two.
Okay, there's any item that can be recyclable based on, they'll all have the little recycling emblem on them with the number telling you what type of plastic. But we want to make sure that there's a market for those materials. And there are certain materials that are more valuable than others and certain materials that are easier to get a lot of.
And give me an example of something that's recyclable but not capturable.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you look at it as maybe one of the beverage containers it's made out of one material, but it's fully enrobed in a plastic that's a different type of material. So those two types of materials, when they go through a recycling facility, they can confuse the scanner. And in some cases, they could just go into residue, which is a nice word for landfill.
Okay. Now, what about the collapsible packages that we're seeing now, the Capri Suns that are out there, for example? I don't want to single them out, but the foil packages that a lot of juices come in, some of the condiments are moving to. What about those?
Yeah, the industry term we use is flex packaging. And, we've seen a lot of CPG companies move toward flex packaging in the last couple of years. And I mean, it's really neat. It looks great for consumers. It looks great for branding. But at the end of the day, none of that material is being captured.
Now, do we see that changing? And the reason I ask is because I know, for example, in South America and in Europe, which are obviously light years ahead of where we are here in North America in terms of recyclable. Those are kind of staples. So, I mean, I've been told if we want to sell anything in South America, it's got to be in the flex packaging because that's what everybody expects and has. When do you see the industry changing and being able to accept those? Or do we?
I think right now the easier question is when can we change away from them so that we know that. I mean, I'll use the example. Look at a peanut butter jar or a mayonnaise jar. Why do I need to change something that's perfectly recyclable today? So I think Walmart, is going to help us and push us in the direction of working with suppliers to make sure that we're designing. We look at it as let's design from the dumpster up. If we can get as far upstream as we can, and we can get in on the design phase of a package and make sure that at that point we're looking post-consumer, what is the next life for this product? Rather than calling it a waste, let's look at it as a discard and find the next use for it rather than end of life.
Okay, we're talking with Shane Redd. He is from Waste Management. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, you were a buyer before at Walmart, and I want to get your thoughts. If you're a buyer today, I want to find out more about that. And we're going to talk about that when we come back. A Saturday morning meeting continues right here.
Imagine what it would be like if you knew the weather up to a year in advance. What would you do differently for your business or your life? At Weather Trends, we don't imagine it. We do it. We're a team of meteorologists, mathematicians, and business weather advisors. And we've spent the last 20 years developing a new way to forecast months in advance. We've been studying weather's effect on product sales based on every 1 degree change in temperature. We can now take your sales data and show you exactly how the weather impacts your business down to a single degree. We're leading the way into a new era in forecasting and a new power in business decisions. And we invite you to join us. Welcome to Weather Trends.
Discover our revolutionary lotion-infused body wash, New Dial Vitamin Boost, and wrap your skin in nourishing softness. For healthy, soft skin, people will notice. Dial. Healthier skin, healthier you.
8th and Walton, the premier destination for Walmart supplier education. When and where you want to learn. Current, accurate, relevant, taught by suppliers, for suppliers. 8th and Walton.
And welcome back to Saturday Morning Meeting. We are continuing our conversation with Shane Redd from Waste Management. Now, before we went to break, Shane, we talked about your past. You were a buyer at Sam's Club. I want to understand it now. If you were a buyer, based on what you know today, and you're sitting there across from a supplier, how do you tackle this? What do you tell them?
That's a loaded question, Derek. But no, I think today, I think it's exciting. It's an exciting time to be a buyer because, Walmart and Sam's Club announced some very aggressive sustainability goals 7-8 years ago. And now I think their buyers have an opportunity to make a difference. And when I say make a difference, when we talk about selling products that are more sustainable, I mean, being able to work with suppliers and, knowing that the products that we're selling on our shelves were designed and intended to have another life. I mean, the way I look at it from the waste management perspective is if we can work with the supplier to change it for Walmart, we can not only change it for them, we can change it for the industry. And when we start talking in the industry, we can make a huge impact.
Now, something that does have a huge impact are the fact that we have millennials that are now coming up, kind of coming of age, getting into the workforce, and changing a lot of perceptions and things that have been there. You told me before that you have a millennial that started in your office, but how important are millennials looking at this recyclable and sustainability initiative?
Oh, I think it's huge. I think at this point, I don't know if we have enough research to know how big it's going to be. But millennials, when you look at you and I, we didn't grow up in an era where recycling was big. Millennials, they've known recycling from the time they were in elementary school, and I think it's only going to. We're seeing millennials use, less disposable water bottles. We're seeing it in their shopping patterns.
They're not buying those paper plates. They're not buying plastic cups. They're opting for refillable water bottles.
Correct.
So how does that, in your view, how does that really change how CPG companies go to market with new products?
I think we have to get out ahead of it. I think that's the key. If we know that the market's starting to shift, and I know I keep saying that, but we have to get upstream from it. And we have to look at it in the design phase of an item. We don't want to take away from the brand team because I know, it's easy to make a change from our perspective, but you have marketing folks and brand teams.
Right. They're all about building that image.
Absolutely, and we don't want to lose that image. We want those products to be just as valuable of brands as they are today. We just want to do it in a way to where we know we can capture the material and find another life for it.
Now, the Sustainability Conference coming up the last week of April. If somebody hasn't signed up for it, obviously you want them to go and do that. But let's come back to where we started. Why do I need to attend? If I'm on the Walmart team here and I'm running a team, should I care about this? Because I care about getting POs and shipping more product to Walmart. So why do I need to attend?
I'd say the reason it's important to Walmart, and it's becoming more important every day. When we look at I'll go back to the aggressive sustainability initiatives that Lee first talked about, in 2006, 2007. They're still alive today, and Walmart's showing huge progress there. But I think now the next few years are really going to determine, can we really move that needle and truly getting to zero waste in the stores and clubs and selling products that are more sustainable. And I mean, if Walmart's behind it, the Walmart sustainability team is now engaged with, they have an entire design team that's working with suppliers, from the very beginning. And if I were a supplier, I would want to get out ahead of that trend and embrace it and not be afraid of it.
And build a partnership with your buyer, build a
Absolutely.
partnership with Walmart. Hopefully break the tie. I mean, we talk about the women, the minority-owned businesses, which obviously can get a leg up, assuming all things are equal. Another way that companies can get kind of a leg up by bringing in sustainability. So what is your passion? Because you didn't start out thinking you were going to get into trash. You started out in Walmart, in stores, worked your way up. What led you to get into waste management?
Yeah, I've been with waste management just over 4 years, just under 4 years, and I jumped at the opportunity because I believe it's big for Walmart. And I think I told you earlier when I first met you that I've been working with Walmart 20 plus years now, and so I love retail. And I think this gives us an opportunity. My current role in waste management, working with not only Walmart but with the suppliers, gives me an opportunity to educate and to move the needle on something that I think is important for my children. And things that are important to our kids, I think we should get behind, and they all of a sudden become important to us.
All right, Shane Red with Waste Management. The Sustainability Conference coming up April 28th through May the 2nd. If people want more information, they can contact you through the website. We will continue with Saturday Morning Meeting when we come back.
Bentonville Plaza, across the street from the Walmart home office. The best office location for businesses working with the world's largest retailer. Bentonville Plaza offers proximity and services like no other business complex in the area, including custom designed suites and an on-site fitness center and restaurant. Pre-leasing opportunities are currently available for new construction. Call 479-200-1112 today.
Experience the unique cooling sensation of frozen yogurt. New Dial Frozen Yogurt Body Wash. Wrap your skin in cooling moisture. For skin so refreshingly soft, people will notice. Dial. Healthier skin, healthier you.
Are you a single parent struggling to meet your family's needs? Single Parent Scholarship Fund is here to help. Single Parent Scholarship Fund of Northwest Arkansas helps hundreds of single parents get an education. By providing scholarships and support, a brighter future is right around the corner for you and your family.
We should know, in 2007, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in organizational management. Single Parent Scholarship Fund helped make my dream a reality. My kids are so proud of me, and now they declare themselves as college-bound.
8th and Walton, the premier destination for Walmart supplier education. When and where you want to learn. Current, accurate, relevant, taught by suppliers, for suppliers. 8th and Walton.
Our thanks to Shane Red from Waste Management and all of today's guests. And as always, we appreciate you taking the time to join us. If you have questions or comments, we would love to hear from you. And be sure to join us next week when we will be joined by Steve Portner from Dannon to discuss trends, trust, and yogurt, one of the fastest growing items in the food category. I'm Derek Ridenoure, and from all of us at Saturday Morning Meeting, thanks for watching, and please join us next Saturday.